What's up, XFL Nation? This is Bird Gang 114. I'm Ed,
And now Cam.
and today we're doing the power rankings for the XFL Week 6. And before we start, we like to say if you could like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think about the rankings, how you would rank them. We appreciate it. We always get back to everybody who leaves a comment. So let's start off Week 6 power rankings with the number 8 team. That's our biggest mover. We have number 8 Dallas Renegades. They dropped 4 spots from last week. Last week we had them in 4, but this week in 8. We just feel like the quarterback issue is a major issue, and now they just announced today that their offensive coordinator is stepping down, I guess because of an injury, so they have a new offensive coordinator. It just seems like they're grasping at straws. They know they're in trouble, and I don't see any stability, and I don't honestly believe Landry Jones is only going to be out one more week. That it looked like it was a more major. What do you think, Cameron?
No, I agree with you. I felt like Larry Jones' injury looked a lot worse than it did. And I just felt like the team's struggle is this quarterback. Philip Nelson, if I was right. So I think they're going to struggle. I don't see them going to get the run game going. And I don't think their defense is going to help them either.
So this week in the number 7 spot is the Seattle Dragons. They moved down 1 spot from last week where we had them at 6. This week they're at 7. It's just that they took another loss. I mean, if they had an offense that matched up to their defense, they would be at the top. But I am seeing, even though I dropped them down, I did see improvements. They definitely made the right move by going with B.J. Daniels. He definitely gives the offense a spark. I mean, they competed in that game against Houston all the way to the end. So I like what I see, but still, they took another loss. It's going to be hard for them to dig out of this.
I think their records making me keeping them down a little bit, but I feel like they found their new quarterback, and I want to see how they keep doing.
This week at number 6, we have the Tampa Bay Vipers, which also last week they were at 5, so they moved down 1 spot. The reason I moved them down also is they they lost. I mean, plain and simple. It seems like their quarterback's getting better, but he's not that great. The defense is good. They rely on the running game, but once you shut the running game down, it's hard for them to make a lot of plays downfield. But I mean, they had the game and then they blew it. So you got to say there's still arrows pointing up, but we had to bring them down a spot. What do you think, Cam?
I feel like just the LA game was a close game, so you know I feel bad for the Tampa, but I think if being what are they 1-4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to come back with all three of them being 3-2 in the division. I just think the Tampa Bay Vipers, is going to just shrink, go down, down.
And in
They're
the
going to give
number
up, I think.
in the number 5 spot, we have the New York Guardians, which moved up from number 7 last week. With Perez in charge and in command, it seems like the offense is starting to get its groove going. Defense is making plays all over the field. I just feel that they're moving in the right direction. I believe with Perez, that was the difference maker.
Yeah, I agree. I think the New York's defense is always keeping the game close, and New York's offense with Perez is just another helpful, and that's why I think New York can win a lot more games coming up because their defense is going to hold them, and they got Perez.
In this week's number 4, we have the LA Wildcats,
Well, you do.
which, yeah, I do. Okay, excuse me. I have them in number 4, where I had them in number 8 last week, so they moved up 4 spots. The reason I have them in 4 is the quarterback play. The quarterback's good. They got playmakers. They got decent defense, and honestly, they should have won last week, but the field goal kicker missed a couple field goals. So that's where I have them. I didn't move them up higher because they only have 2 wins.
Well, my number 4 is DC. Even though they beat St. Louis, I just felt like their offense has nothing. It's like the running game was helping, but there's the offense needs to get it like they did in the first 2 weeks. I just felt like that's gone away, and once they play like Houston, they're not gonna keep up. So that's why I have DC dropping down one from 3 to 4.
And then just to let you know, part of the news that came out today, Pep Hamilton said that Cardale Jones is his starter next week. So just
Oh
information
boy.
for anybody who didn't know. And in the third spot, I have the DC Defenders, where Cameron has the LA Wildcats. The reason I got DC in number 3 is because they do have 3 wins, and I just I I I don't know. I just think they're still a better team than LA. They're a little bit more consistent. I know they had the 2 bad games, but they can even win with not much passing yardage. I don't think they had more than like 40 yards passing in
No,
that
they
game
didn't.
yesterday. So once they get their act together, I think they'll be back. They just need a little bit of confidence.
I think LA should be 3. Like I do have them at 3. And I had them from 4 to 3. I had them upgrade. Whatever. They still won without Spruce, and I feel like scoring what 41 points. I think if I was right,
Hmm
41 points without their top receiver. That's already the offense is good, and then the defense is not bad. So I think LA is just a better team than DC a little bit.
And this week in number 2, I have the St. Louis Battlehawks. I had them go down 1 spot, where I think Cameron had them in the same spot from last week.
Yep, I had them at 2.
They just yesterday in a primetime game, they just did not show up. It didn't look like their offense ever found sync. I don't know if it was because of LA's defense. I, for some reason, just didn't see any fire in them yesterday. No urgency, no nothing. It just didn't look like the same team to me, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's why I do have them at 2. I think they're a good team, but just that one game just looked really bad.
And in number 1, our consensus number 1, we have the Houston Roughnecks. I say they're number 1 because they just have an awesome offense. They got on defense, they have playmakers. On special teams, they're not bad. Very well balanced, but especially on offense, they're a hard team to stop.
100%. The offense. If PJ Walker and Karen Phillips gets it going, that's basically a loss, for the other team. So it's just like if you can hold them, maybe you have a chance. But this team, once it starts it going, passing, no problem. They're a very tough team to beat.
So that's this week's rankings, folks. Once again, we want to say thank you for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe, and especially leave a comment. We love to talk to you guys. We appreciate everybody who watches. And remember, it's all for the love of football.